Shalom Yisrael, Shalom achayam, man. It's your boy Kurash, back at it again. Finally bringing out that brazen serpent Torah Temple Tabernacle Solomon's Temple knowledge that I've been talking about for a while now. Finally got it all finished up, slapped together. Wanted to get it out a little earlier today, but had all kinds of stuff go down. I just had a bunch of unexpected things. But anyways, finally getting at it. It's pretty late, but I'm gonna try to hammer it out. That way it at least loads up overnight. That way all the brothers can have it in the morning. Sorry I couldn't get it out sooner, but you know, shit happens. But here we go. I'm gonna be using a couple swords today. This is the main one. You know, gotta love this one. Stone Edition Tanakh. But we're gonna hit it up with the BDB, the BD Bizzle. Brown Drivers Briggs Hebrew English Lexicon, coded with the Strong's Concordance numbers. So you can check out all the definitions and all the Hebrew stuff that I'm going to hit up today. You can check it out in the regular Strong's Concordance, but I'm hitting it up real deep, busting out the lexicon today. So here we go. Let's jump at it. We're going to start off Numbers 21. First off, all praises to the Most High Yahweh, alone Yahweh Akkad, and also shout out to all the knights, all the Abayar, defending that temple, man, defending the Most High, because no one else is going to do it except for us. So first we're going to start off in the book of Numbers. So let's see, let's get Numbers 21 and 6. We're going to try to get this through this as fast as possible. As much information as possible. It's going to be like a two-parter. This is actually part of the whole little Serpent Power series that stupid shit that I came up with. The first one was the Kundalini shit. It's the little backdrop for this. We saw about the serpent spirit Kundalini stuff, but we're going to get the Torah breakdown of it, what the serpent really is and who the serpent really is. So we're gonna hit up Numbers 21. Alright, here we go. Numbers 21 and 6. It says, "And the Most High sent fiery serpents against the people, and they bit the people, and a large multitude of Israel died." Alright, and the people came to Moshe and said, "We have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahweh and against you. Pray to Hashem that he remove from us the serpent." And Moshe prayed for the people. Now, we're going to get a few, break down a few of the words in the Hebrew. So first we're going to get fiery serpent and the serpent. So let's go over here. We got verse 6. See, we got Wa Yashalak Yahweh. So it's he sent Yahweh. Ba'amat to the people. Ha nakashyam, ha sharafyam, wa yanashkau at ha'am. So here we go. So he sent at them ha nashakyam, ha sharafyam, which is, you know, what they interpreted as fiery serpents. And you know, it really was, you know, in the wilderness, when the forefathers were in Egypt, the Most High really did send fiery serpents among them, and it's because they sinned. You know, he was bringing them. You know, Jude Naz has touched on this before. You know, links in with the Temple Man, with the journey, with the 10 steps that we went through the wilderness. You know, we had these trials. We would do good, and then, you know, usually a miracle or something would happen, and then we would rebel. And then we'd get chastised, and then we'd move on. You know, it keeps repeating. Everything has symbolic. You could go on for hours on just the wilderness wanderings alone. But anyways, it says, let's get up verse 4 just to get a little backdrop. It says, "They journey from Mount Hor by the way of the Sea of Reeds," or the Red Sea, as they say, to go around the land of Adawam. And the spirit of the people grew short on the way. So they started getting short, man. They started getting short fused, started getting rowdy. And it says, "The people spoke against the Most High and Moshe, it said, "Why did you bring us up from Egypt to die in the wilderness?" And of course, in the second Exodus, when we get brung up into the wilderness of the peoples, you're gonna have brothers saying this exact same shit. People just love to go back into that bondage, into that Egypt, to that lower self. They don't want to, excel and elevate as a person. They just want to stay all low and booty. So it says, why did you bring us up from Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our soul is disgusted with this unsubstantial food. So, they were talking shit about the manna, which is the bread, the word from the Most High, what feeds us, what gives us life. So they started, back talking against Torah, which is all these camps and all these so-called messianic Hebrews. They're caught up on the Christ worship, on that Christ penis, Rodimus Prime, idol shy, whatever the hell you want to call them. Caught up in that idol, that Tammuz Dumuzi, and they start saying that this is they start getting disgusted with the Torah when we start whipping out this sword and we start slicing their nonsense, their bullshit doctrine into pieces. They start getting disgusted with the Torah, and they start saying some whack ass shit like, "Oh, the Torah has flaws," and that I've heard the worst stuff about the Torah. I don't even don't even like acknowledging that shit because it's freaking retarded as hell. But whatever. But anyways, let's get back. So because we rebelled, then the Most High sent fiery serpents. Now, this really happened in the wilderness, but this is like Torah's past, present, future. It's something else, man. It's on a whole nother level. But so let's see how this applies. See, achayam. So let's get the BDB. Let's see. We jump into 638. Page 638. So let's get Nakash, because if you go down further, because what does it say? That he sent the fiery serpents, and that they said, "Remove the serpent from us," which is right here. Ma'ala yanau at ha nakash wa yatafalal. Now, ha nakash, that's the nakash, right? Let's get what nakash is. We're on 638. It's 5175 in the Strongs. It says a serpent or a viper, right? Okay, so that's what happened in the wilderness. But let's get the deeper meaning. It says a serpent as biting in spite of a charm. Because they usually played the flutes, to charm snakes. The snake charming that you see the Elamites doing over there in East India. It says the effect of wine as hissing, eating dust as a crafty tempter, right? It says the bronze image of a serpent in mythology, a flying serpent, an eclipse dragon, the symbol of world powers. So, going through the Torah Temple Wisdom, we understand that this word Nakash can also mean world powers, that the Most High sends these serpents after us, which is the Amalekites. And he sends these world powers, these sea monsters, these dragons, these eclipsing dragons, flying serpents, right? Let's get some more. Nakash, right? Practice divination, divine to observe signs. So it's a diviner, man, a witch, divine, to learn by omens. Practice divination by means of a cup, i.e. by hydromancy, so it's hydromancers, which implies power to learn secret things. With implied power to learn secret things, which goes to Obadiah, which it says that the secret things of Esau are searched up. observed the signs or omens. Now the men were observing the signs, divination, enchantment. Nakash, copper bronze, which goes, into the copper bronze serpent. Shining, the Luciferians, the shining ones, the Edomites. Fetters of copper and bronze, as less than gold, but more than wood. So they're worth more than the idols, because it's a person. So they're not dead, they're non-people, they're a foolish nation, as we know from Deuteronomy 32. But they're more than the wood. They're not dead because they're people. They're having them worship. That's the Lucifer. They're having people worship them as God. So they, but they're less than gold, man. They're another interpretation is if you look in the Strongs, it's a copper. It's a base. It's like it means base. Nakashath means base, as in compared to silver and gold, like filthiness. It also means filthiness. In fact, let's get some more. Jump down here. Nakash. It says the bottom of the vessel. So like the base, the bottom. Nakashath, right? Lust or harlotry, which is just a variation of Nakash. It's filthiness, it's idolatry, it's harlotry, because they have us worshiping them in the form of the Baphomet, the hairy goats, the Shayar. That's why it says we sacrificed unto devils. It has in the KJV, but in the Hebrew it's Shayar, it's Sha'ayar, it's the devils, the fawns, the Esau, the hairy goat, man. That's their symbol. The Amalekites specifically, because they use Esau, you know what I mean. That's another thing we have to remember. Esau as a whole, yes, they're in trouble for the violence that they've shown against us, but you got to remember that Esau is also being used by their illegitimate concubine brother or nephew, son, grandson, whatever, depending on what tribe of Esau you are, because they have their different tribes too. But that the Amalekites control it all. It says Amalek is the chief, the Rosh, the head, the first of the nations, man. They rule the nations. No one else is ruling except for the so-called fake Jew, man, the fake white Jew. He's the one running the show. So, and they use them, and I'm going to bring that out in the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion in their own words. They make up this story saying that the white man, the rest of the Edomites, because they try to make themselves separate from the Edomites. They try to say, that the other Edomites are the worst enemy. They're number one opposers. They're what's another word for it? I don't know. They're opposite, they're arch enemy, I guess you could say. To take it off of us, to take it off the real Hebrews, but they also use it's all part of their little game. They play both sides. They do all this whack shit. So, but just remember, it's always Amalek that really controls it. So yes, Esau as a whole is in deep shit, but remember, a remnant of Esau will be or Edom will be possessed in the nation, in the kingdom. It's what it is. If you know scripture, you know what it is. But anyways, so these dudes, and what do the Amalekites do? They practice divination. They observe signs. They worship the hosts of heaven. They do all these crazy blood rituals, sacrificing people, babies drinking blood, doing all kinds of stuff. Man, they set themselves up, as bronze, as this copper bronze. Another word, another definition. 5153. You could go in the Strongs, 5153 and 5154, H 5153 and 5154. It says Nakawash and Nakawasha, and it also means not only copper and brass but red. It's not just the dark black brown color of copper and brass. It's actually the red color that you get from copper and brass, from the not good, the filthy dirt, the raw dirt, the base dirt, the bottom of the barrel, the red color, without the melanin, without the source, without the manna, without the life, the foolish, they're non-people, the foolish nation, it means red as in the color of the throat of a snake, also the inside of the throat of a snake. So it also means red, man, and that's what these red Amalekites do. They practice divination. They are the Nakash. They are the Nakasha. the ha nakashyam, like it says in the ha nakashyam, ha sharafyam. So let's get ha sharafyam now. So we understand that he sends against us these Amalekites, because remember, when we're doing good, when we're on the commandments, following the commandments, following the Most High Yah alone, we're doing good. He sets a hedge around us. We can't be touched, just like Job. We're good. We do good, but I mean, we still can be tempted, but it's we're protected. But when we sin, when we don't follow the commandments, then the Most High sends these guys, the Nakash. In our wilderness journeys, they send these diviners, these practitioners, these hissers, to these secret people, the world powers, the fleeing serpent, the bronze serpent, the red serpent. He sends them to punish us, to bite us, and I mean, we're gonna get a lot deeper. It just doesn't mean just bite, man. We're gonna hit it up. But anyways, let's get Hasharafyam. Let's see. The poisonous burning ones, that's one of the things. So 977. So now stick in the BDD. Let's go to 977. So we got Sharaf, to burn. That's the root word. Absorb or consume. To destroy. That's what they destroy. These fiery serpents come and consume and destroy. Consuming refuse. They consume us. The refuse, the infected objects. But they are the disease. They're the infected ones. They even talk about it. In the metal, because I used to listen to metal a lot and stuff. There's a band called Carnifex, and they have an album called The Diseased and the Poisoned, and that's who they're talking about. They are the diseased. Whitechapel has a song called Possession, and they say in there that they are the diseased. Music breakdown. Okay, if you want to know further, I could break it all down. But anyways, also burning a red heifer or a red heifer, a red calf. A female calf. The red calf, as a sacrifice to be burned. Let's get it. Sharaf. In the Strongs, it's 8314. Sharafyam. That's where we're at. The Sharafyam. Sharafyam. See? The serpent bodies. The serpent deities. This is what they are. They came up with this new concept, which actually it originates in the mystery schools of Africa. There's a guy called Credo Mutwaba. He's involved with that. David Icke, all that whole nonsense, the Greys and the aliens and the reptilians and stuff, and they say the elites are reptilians. Well, it's all code. That's masonry. It's the mystery schools. They're a part of that as well, and that's what they're really telling you, is that these Amalekites, these elites, right? Because most of the people that own everything, these 13 Illuminati bloodlines or whatever you want to call them, they're all Amalekites, and they're all linked up, and because they descend from Alexander and his 4 generals, which were Macedonians or Macedons, or the word means hillbilly, man. The motherfuckers were Amalekites, and they are the serpent bodies, the serpent deities, the Sharafyam, which they play on the Old Testament majestic beings with 6 wings, spoken of in Isaiah 6, with hands and voices attended upon. So they take the image of an actual creature, an actual being of the Most High, the Sharafyam, the Sharafs, the fiery ones, with serpent fire body. The Most High has creatures, man. He has the Karabyam and the Sharafyam. Ezekiel saw these things, Isaiah saw these things. Most High has wonderful creations all over the place, and but they take that knowledge and they pervert it and they twist it, and because these dudes are mixed with Horites, the troglodyte mountain cavemen, mixed Nephilim bloodline. They say they have different DNA in everybody, all kinds of nonsense. But serpent bodies, man, they're the serpent deities. So that's what he sends after us, the divining, enchanting wizard, serpent deity body, burning, sacrificing, red serpents after us, man, to bite us, to take us up. And what do we say? We say we take them away from us. Let's go back. It says, and Masha prayed for the people, and Yahweh said to Masha, make for yourself a fiery serpent and place it on a pole, right? And it will be that anyone who is bitten will look on it and live. It says, Wa Ya'ash Masha Nakash Nakashath Wa Yashamahal Al Hanas Wa Haya, which is, you know, and Moses, it was said to Moses that Nakashawa, which is they translated it, make yourself, you know, a fiery serpent. But it's Nakash, it's a diviner. It's make yourself a divined. Take one of those red diviners and Nakashath. And what do we know about Nakashath? Oh, let's get back. It's the base or copper fetter chain, the filthiness. You know, Nakashath. The divine enchanters, the base, the copper fetter chain, the filthiness, the divine enchanters. They took them. He said, take one of those, right, and put it upon a pole, which is your Jesus, man. He said, take one of them. That's your crucified Savior. That's that idol, man. The Illuminati, they worship that too. I have some images I'm gonna break out in that next video, the one to go back to back with this one. And he says, and he who look upon it will live. And Masha made a serpent of copper and placed it on the pole. So it was that if the serpent bit a man, he would stare at the copper serpent and live. So he made a copper serpent. That's that Nakasha, that he made himself. He took that shraf, that burning one, and he put it upon a pole. And then he also, and then he took the burning one, the red, divining, you know, brazen serpent god, because that's another. Let's see. Bear with me. I'll get back to it. 638. Let's get it. 638. Look. Bronze god. Nakashath. Remember? So that's what it says. Oh, hold on, Israel. Sorry. Page turn on me. Nakashath. Nakashath, given to a bronze serpent or a bronze god. See, they made it into a god. They made themselves into a god. That Jesus, man, they took that image on in the Rome during the time of Rome. That's when they created their new Roman savior god, their penis savior god, which is their fiery serpent, their divine, their enchant. It's an enchantment put over on all the people. To deceive everyone. And see, and the Most High had this. Look, Ha Nakash At Ayash Wa Habayat Al Nakash Ha Nakashath Wakai, right? And whoever looked upon it will live. Whoever would stare or look up to, you know, to stare up at, you know, up at the cross, upon the divining Ha Nakashat, the divining the bronze god, the divining bronze god, man. He has all of you in a spell. That's what all this is. And see, and this is the same thing. This links up with Judah Naz's video of the Kwayawan tree, man. The Kikion, if you want to say, but in the Hebrew it's Kwayawan. And the Kwayawan tree, it's the same thing. He raised it up to Jonah, for Jonah as the idol. That's the Christ idol, to give him comfort, because Jonah was in rebellion, just like we're in rebellion. Our forefathers in rebellion, and when we are in rebellion, he sent these fiery serpents to sting us, to bite us, just like he sent that heat to stifle Jonah, to get them all burned up and heated up. And then see the venom, we got inflamed, serpent poison, inflaming, burning sensation. We start getting burned up. And so the Most High raised up, just like he told us in Deuteronomy 13, that he would raise up this false prophets that to test us, man, to see if we really loved him or not. And that's what he did. He raised up the Kwayawan tree for Jonah, which is the Christ idol, to test Jonah, and then he destroyed it with the worm. We're gonna get deep into. I'm gonna kind of add a little bit to Judah Naz's thing with that. But anyways, the copper serpent, the divining bronze god, red god, the divining red god, actually, upon the pole, upon the staff, that's just your Jesus. That's the same thing. It's the Most High had it raised up, because later we find out that they crushed it. They destroyed it because they ended up worshiping it as an idol. First, it was just raised up, to give comfort to the people, to test them, and that's what they did. They ended up not following the commandments, which it says to not follow graven images and worship graven images or anything like that, and they failed. And that's the same thing. What the Kwayawan tree was, he raised that up, and Jonah worshipped it, and he felt he wanted to die without that tree. And that's how our people are now. They want to die without that Christ. They see the Torah, the manna, as unsubstantial food. It's not good for them to eat, they think. So anyways, let's keep continuing on with the lesson. Let's get Deuteronomy 8 and 15 now. Let's move on. Deuteronomy 8 and 15. It says, who leads you through the great and awesome wilderness. So it's talking about the Most High, Yahweh, your power, who leads you through the great and awesome wilderness of snake and fiery serpent and scorpion. Let's get 15. Ha mawalayakan kamadabar ha nadal wa hanayara nakash sharaf wa aquarab, which is in the wilderness of the snake, the nakash, the diviner, and the fiery one, the red burning sacrificial heifer or cow, and the scorpion. So that's what it says. He leads us through the great and awesome wilderness of the diviners and the great the burning ones, the sacrifices, and the scorpions, and thirst, where there was no water, who brings forth water for you from the rock of flint. So he brings us, because we live in Egypt, or this is New Egypt, he'd bring us into the house of bondage again, the house of slavery, the house of brick and mortar, that rock, that hard flint we had to bust open and break open and kill ourselves to make for Pharaoh. The same thing we do now. We bust and we break with adobe, and over here in the Southwest, and all throughout the states, they had us breaking and busting bricks, and in the prison houses, that's what they had us doing, just break these rocks into smaller rocks, some Django shit, and that's what but the Most High gives us that water out of that flint, man. He's the fountains of living waters. It's the word. He gives us that life. He leads us through this wilderness, you know what I mean, where there is nothing, but he gives us water. And that's what he even says in the wilderness, when we go back into the wilderness, that he would bring springs of water up in the deserts. He always provides, man, and he always leads us out and away from these evil people. So we can always trust in the Most High to deliver us. Now, I wanted to get, just to add, I know it's, Apocrypha and whatnot, some people find it controversial or whatever. But we're going to hit it just because it has some interesting things. This is the fully revised New Oxford Annotated Apocrypha. The reason why I'm hitting this one up is just because they have our text. They had the original text and stuff like that, and they went through it. I also have the Dead Sea Scrolls of it too, but it's more fragmentary. This one's more complete. So we're gonna hit up. Just wanted to get a quick scripture. Wisdoms of Solomon 16, because it does make some good points. Wisdom of Solomon 16:1. Therefore, those people were deservedly punished through such creatures and were tormented by a multitude of animals. Right? And that's what we deserved it. It says, for when the terrible rage of the wild animals came upon your people, this is verse 5, and they were being destroyed by the bites of writhing serpents. So, that's the same thing as the bites, and like I said, I'm going to get the definition for that in a minute. But the biting of these fiery serpents, your wrath did not continue to the end. So his wrath didn't continue, though. They were troubled for a little while as a warning, and received a symbol of deliverance to remind them of your law's commands. So they gave, we were given this as a warning, to not rebel against the Most High and to follow his laws, or else he would send these writhing serpents toward us. And we received a symbol of deliverance, which was them crucified up on that cross, to remind them of your law's command, which is, to not have any idols or anything like that, to not worship anything like that, because it's going to let you know it wasn't the serpent or anything that healed them. It was something deeper. For the one who turned toward it was saved, not by the thing that was beheld. So see, it says that the people that turned toward the snake and lived, it wasn't from the thing that was made. That serpent, that brazen staff, wasn't the thing that healed them. But it was by you, the Savior of all, which is Yahweh. And by this also you convinced our enemies that it is you who delivers from every evil. So it was also a lesson to the enemies, convincing them that it's not their idols, their graven images, their fake Jesus God that saves them, that delivers them, but it's the Most High. For they were killed by the bites of locusts and flies, because their gods didn't save them from the curses of the Most High. And no healing was found for them, because they deserved to be punished by such things. But your children were not conquered by even the fangs of venomous serpents. But we were not even conquered by the fangs or the venom or the infection of that venomous serpent, of that Jesus. For your mercy came to their help and healed them. So see, that was a lesson to them, that even though we got such a powerful idol raised over our people to cover us, that we couldn't even be conquered by it. We can't even be conquered by their damn God, their damn idol that they set up for them. And now it's them themselves, that we can't be conquered by that. When we're with the Most High, we can't be conquered by that shit. So that's what this lesson was about, that he even raised that up over us, for a punishment, and we still beat it out. When we turn back to him, of course, he's the one that heals it. See, that's what it always goes back to. For his mercy came to help and healed them. His mercy still heals us. Even though we get beat down by this thing, his mercy still healed us, to remind us of our oracles or our prophets that were bitten, that they were bitten, and then were quickly delivered, so that they would not fall into deep forgetfulness and become unresponsive to your kindness. But that's what happened anyways. We ended up falling into deep forgetfulness, that deep slumber, that deep sleep, that covering face. We fell into that Jesus worship again anyways, and we became unresponsive to his kindness. For neither herb nor poultice cured them. So it's not any of these things that we do that really cure us, but it was your word, O Yahweh, that heals all people. But it's his word that heals all people. So this is, I thought that was, kind of appropriate. I also have this. I also rock the holiday concise Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament. It's kind of like basically it's the thinner version of the BDB, man. It doesn't have, all the extra stuff. If you want to go real hard, get yourself that lexicon. But if not, there's also that small, because I carry that smaller lexicon around with me, and then I also carry the Strong's, it's falling apart though. I need to figure out how to staple it together. I gutted it out a long time ago. My Hebrew dictionary, Strong's, I carry this around. This is always good for just that quick reference, that getting that Hebrew in. And then for the home study, I bust out this bad boy. And then, I also carry that other one on the road for me too, if I want to get a little deeper than the Strong's, but still. But it's, pretty much all the same stuff. But just to show you a few, I'll show exactly all the swords that I'm dealing with, one of these days. But anyways, so this is that lesson, we overcame. The Most High's mercy brought us through this all, So now let's get this another scripture. Let's keep moving on. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32. You know what it is. Let's get a couple verses, actually. Yasharawan, or Jeshurun. They have a Jeshurun, but, you can't trust the Yiddish. Never trust the Yiddish. Man, I'm going to do a lesson on that Yiddish, that whole stupid vowel point shit. Yiddish pronunciations, yeah, nah. But here it is, Yasharawan. That's what I rock. It's my name, man. Yasharawan became fat and kicked, man. Our nation became fat. we started kicking. You became fat. You became thick. You became corpulent. It says, and it deserted the Most High, its maker. So we deserted the Most High. And we were contemptuous of the rock of its salvation. So we ended up putting in contempt the Most High rock that is our salvation. He's the one that saves us. He's our rock. He's the one that provides that water, the rock out of the water out of the rock. They would provoke his jealousy with strangers. They would anger him with abominations, man. These are these idols. They would slaughter to demons without power. Gods whom they knew not. Newcomers recently arrived, whom your ancestors did not dread. So that's your Jesus, man. That's your Rodimus Prime. That's your idolatry. That's your dying risen penis Roman Savior God. That's the newcomer recently arrived. It says, and he will say, I shall hide my face from them. So because of that, he hid his face from us, and he will see what our end will be. So he was like, all right, man, because you wanted to chase after it, I'll raise up a new one. And that's what he raised up, that brazen serpent, that red serpent staff, dead risen Savior God, divining enchanter. He raised him up on a pole, right? And he said, I'll see what their end shall be. I'll test them. For they are a generation of reversals, man. Children whose upbringing is none is not in them. We don't have no upbringing. We're horrible. We're lawless, man. We ain't got no laws. We're just a bunch of heathens. As they provoked me to anger with a non-god, angered me with their vanities, so shall I provoke them with a non-people. So because we provoked them, to the Most High, to with the sorry for that stupid barking dogs, man. That's my parents' dogs. They have them here. They were babysitting for the night, and they're just freaking won't shut up. Worth nothing. So just bear with me through it. It says they provoked me with a non-god. So we provoked the Most High with no gods, right? So he will provoke us. He provoked us with that non-people, those Edomites, man. With the vile nation shall I anger them. That's the Amalek. They're non-people, man. They're mixed with them Horites. They are he angers us with them. He says he provokes us with them, But let's go down. Let's get this verse. He says, I shall accumulate evils against them. My arrows shall I use rise up against them. Bloating of famine, battles of flaming demons, cutting down by the noontime demon, and the teeth of beasts shall I dispatch against them. So these are all these plagues, these are all these curses that the Most High dispatches against us. He says, with the venom of those that creep on the earth, right? Now, this has a lot deeper meaning in the Hebrew. The phrase is actually Kamath, Zakalai, Afar. Kamath, Zakalai, Afar. Now, let's get what that means. Kamath, Zakalai, Afar. Tied up by a wall or hot spring, to crawl, fear as a serpent, Kamath, to tied up. This goes way deep, man. Alright, we're about to get real deep with this one. Alright, bear with. Alright, so first we got Kamath. Right? Let's break down Kamath. First we got Kamath, which means tied up. In the Strongs you got so you got Kamath, tied up. The word is H2 2573, 2574, and 2575. To tied up, walled, or a hot spring, because it actually the root word is actually calm, which is ham, man. 2525, 2526. Let's get it. 332 and 333 in the BTB. So basically, Kamath means walled up. That's what the phrase is. It said they have it with the venom of that creep of those upon the earth. Let's see. Hold on. Yep. And it's Kamath, Zakalai, Afar. And let's see. Hold on. And Kamath, like I said, means tied up. So he would tie us up or wall us up like a hot spring. Now, why is it the hot spring? Because it's Ham. We went back into bondage. We went back into servitude with Ham. This is what that Kemetic shit is, man. This is why a lot of stubborn ass rebellious Hebrews are all up in that Kemetic shit. Because we run back into Egypt all the time. It's 2574. See, Kamath, a fortress, a sacred enclosure. We're enclosed up, in this sacred. To them, it's sacred, enclosure. Another one. Look, to grow rancid or putrid. So we've grown rancid and putrid. That's what that venom. We're fortunate. We're walled up. We've grown rancid and putrid. With this hot spring, which comes from, like I said, which is the root word. Let's get another word that derives from it. We got 25H2552, which is kamam, which is be hot, inflame oneself, to get heat, to become warm, to heat, to kindle fire in. Natural heat, to inflame oneself with or idolatry. So see, you're inflaming yourself with idolatry because the Hamites, because it comes from kam, or ham, which is hot. Garments heated by the south wind, because they live in the south. They live in the south. The queen of the south, the king of the south, which is in Ethiopia, in Africa. It comes from the word kam. Like I said, hot, but putrid. Ham, see, son of Noah. Kam. What is that? 25, 26. I know it's hard to see, Israel. Sorry. I try to get a brighter line to get everything really bright, but shit's still hard to see. Father of Canaan. These peoples were inhabitants of the southern lands, or related historically or politically to such inhabitants. In the name for in late a name for the Egyptians. So all the Egyptians were just called Ham or Kam. That's why the Kemetic. See, in late a name for all the Egyptians, or Cam. That's why they say Kemetic, because it's calm. It's actually calm, not Kem. There is no in the Hebrew like There is none of that. There's just calm. Kamatic or Kamai. We would call them Kamai. The Hamites. Kamai. This is warm, hot. So see, we're walled up. We're chained up. We become putrid, walled up by Kemet, man, by Egypt again. We're hot. We're rancid. We're putrid. We've inflamed ourselves with idolatry, with the idolatry of Ham, with Kam, with the sons of Ham. That's what all this means, man. Warm, heat, kindle, natural heat. That's what this is. That's what the Most High did. He would wall us up with the venom. That's what that actually means. He would make us putrid, walled up with the idolatry of Kemet, of those that creep upon the earth. So like I said, we got Kamath. Now let's get Zakalai, right? Zakalai. Let's see. Bear with me. Here we go. Zakalai, H21:19. Zakal, Zakalai. So that's what comes from Zakal. To crawl, they will. Yea, he will crawl. Crawl in fear, be afraid, like a serpent or a worm. 267 in the BDB. Which, Zakal, to fear, be afraid, to rancor, malevolence, to hold back. We're held back. We're malevolent. We are afraid. We crawl with fear. Walled up by the Kemet. We're walled up and putrid and rancid. We become weak, man. We're torn up by these idols. We're destroyed by this Kemet shit, man. We're destroyed by Egypt, by the Masonic, because this shit's all Masonic, man. Shit's all Edomite. The Edomites are the goddamn Egyptian, man. They have been ever since they took that shit over with Alexander. And that's what they worship. That's what all Kemetic shit is, dude. They try to say, ancient Egypt, the Cam. Nah, man. It's you fucking worship Esau, man. You're worshiping the damn Amalekites. Just fucking admit it and get the shit over with, because it's goddamn ridiculous already. So, like I said, we'd be walled up. What's the last word? Afar, right? Which afar, we got 6080 and 6083. Afar, to be gray or pulverized, to cast dust, be powdered, ashy, muddy, clay, rubbish, mortar, 779, 779, and 780. So, by Egypt, we are walled up by Ham like a hot spring, all putrid and rancid. That's the venom, of those that creep, or by the, we fear, we crawl in fear. We are afraid, bound up, and pulverized. We're casted out as dust. Let's get it. By this Kemet shit, Hold on. I thought I had it. Hold on. Bear with me. 779. Oh, 799. Sorry about that. Misread. Sorry, it's kind of late. Afar. Dust. Dry earth or dust thrown in malice. So we're thrown out. We're in malice. as serpent's food. We are the serpent's food, a token of punishment and humiliation. So it's punishment and humiliation. We're humiliated, we're punished, dried up dirt thrown in malice, broken down, walled up, putrid, rancid, inflamed in ourselves with idolatry, with great heat under the Kemetic or the Kam or pulverized grayness, powdered by anything pulverized, debris of ruined city. We're a ruined city, man. Zayawan, right? The ruined city. With added idea of commonness or worthlessness. So see, we're made to be common. Oh yeah, you guys are just common. You guys are just Gawai, you're Goyim. You guys are Gentiles, but we're not. They call us worthlessness. We all have this sense of worthlessness. They taught us self-hate, man. This is the plague of our people. We're worthlessness. They taught us similitude of the scattered and dispersed. We're scattered, dispersed, self-abased. We, the Most High told us He would make us low or self-abased. We'd be the lowest among the nations. Of humiliation, sitting or lying in the dust, licking up dust, throwing lumps of dry earth at Him. A young mountain of a young mountain goat. We're under that mountain goat. We're cast upon. You see all this, man? This is why it's so important to break down the Hebrew and to go into the Hebrew when reading the Torah, because it just completely breaks open everything. Like you don't get that. Like with this little phrase, Kamath Zakalai Afar, you get this that we're being destroyed by the Kemetic, by the Ham, by this nonsense, by this worm that's been raised up to oppress our people, that has oppressed our people. The Edomites are using these people. These Amalekites, the Masons are using these, Kemetic House of Consciousness community fools, these damn clowns. They're using them to destroy us, to oppress us. This is what's happening to our people, and it gets worse. It gets so much worse. Let's move on. Look, let's get another scripture. Let's get Ecclesiastes 10 and 8. Let's jump to Ecclesiastes 10 and 8 and see what that has to say. This gets even deeper. It gets even deeper, Israel. Yashra'al. It's so much. It says, he who digs a pit will fall into it. So this is what we've done for ourselves. We dug ourselves a pit, right? It says, and he who breaks down a wall, that's that we broke down that hedge, that wall, that protection barrier of the Most High, that powerful wall, we will see. It says, will be bitten by a snake. So we will be bitten by a snake. Let's get this in the Hebrew. It says, kafar, nawamatz, baw, yafawal, wa, faratz, gadar. So, those that, dig a pit will fall into it. He who casts down a wall will be cast down a wall. Yashakanau, nakash. Yashakanau, nakash. Yashakanau, nakash. It's Yashakanau means a lodging. If we break down that wall, it says mean we will lodge or reside or be a fellow citizen. Another root word for it, we'll get it, is to lie down sexually, to be cast down or ravished or sleep, to commit adultery with. The divine enchanters. Remember, Nakash means divine enchanters or prognosticators, those ones that use hydromancy and they believe in their omens and all that nonsense. This is what that is, man. It says we will be cursed. Those that break down that wall will be cursed to lodge or reside with these demons, man, with these damn devils. Let's get that. Let's see. Yashakanau. So it's 79:31, 79:34 in the Strongs. It comes from the word Chakan. Yashakanau. They will be, lodging or reside or abide. They will lodge or reside or dwell or lay, set up residence or fellow citizen. They will be a neighbor. to the Nakash of the diviners. It's 10:14, 10:15 in the BDB. Let's get that. And here it says, look, Chakan. Remember the root word Chakan, Yashakana, to settle down or abide, right? A dwelling place. To settle permanently. We've settled permanently where we feel comfortable in our homes, man. It says, there's the psalm, that one of my favorite songs, you know, and all these musicians butcher the hell out of it. The rivers of Babylon. It's so deep. That scripture is so deep. The Psalms 139, I believe, by the rivers of Babylon, man. And that's what we said. If David, our King Dawad, said if he was to ever forget Zion, let his right hand forget his cunning, and let his tongue cleave to the roof of his mouth. Meaning, if he forgot Zion, if he got complacent and didn't care and didn't hold Zion as his chief joy, as his elevated place, as the chief, the debar of the mind, the holy city, the Most High, you know, if he didn't keep the Most High, you know, because if you think of Zion, you think of the Most High. When you don't keep the Most High in your mind and your debar, he says, let my right hand forget his cunning, which is to not play music. He says, how can we play strange music? Music in the strange land, the Most High song in the strange land. This is why I don't play music anymore, man. I used to love playing music. I play bass, you know, just like my brother Jude Naz, man. My Ak Jude Naz. We so similar in so many ways. I play bass too, but I haven't in a long time because I feel like I can't play for the Most High, because I play, when I play for the Most High. I create music for the Most High, Yah. And I feel like I can't do that oppressed, man, because I'm oppressed. We are oppressed. We can never forget we're in slavery, we're in bondage, we're in oppression, we're in Egypt, we're in shackles, man, we're in fucking chains still. We can never forget this shit. We can never get complacent. We can never permanently settle, be this, man. Like, we can't lay my honor in the dust of death, man. We made our covenant with death. We can't do this shit anymore, and we can't be their neighbors anymore. I mean, yeah, they can be our neighbors, you know, in our land with our righteousness. You know, of course, you know, Torah says that we will have people of other nations that will settle among us, and whoever they settle among, they will, you know, be called by that name, basically. You know, when we possess them. So then yes, they can inhabit with us, but not with them, man. Not the way it is now. Not Yashakanal, bro. No, not Yashakanal. But because we dug down that wall, it says Yashakanal Nakash. We would be permanently dwelled up or set up or lay residence among these devils, man. And then look, it goes even deeper, because the word comes from 7901. It comes from Shakab. It comes from Shakab, which means to lie down in sexual connection, to cast down, to lodge, to be ravished, to sleep, to stay. You know, let's get it. 10, 11, and 10, 12. We become ravished. We become, we've laid down not only, you know, look, Shakab, to lie down in death. In the deathbed, man. We've laid down in our deathbed, prostrated by a blow, man. We've been prostrated, we've been blown out, we've been beaten to death, a token of mourning, prostration by disease, man. We're among foes of humiliation. We're among our foes, permanent residing among our foes of humiliation, man. We're among a foolish people, but they make us the humiliation. Fatally, man. Intimacy, to lie down for copulation. We've lied down with them foreign gods, man. Watch, look, it even goes of sexual relations to lie with. It gets deeper. It shows you to lie down in death, man, in the grave, to be lain with sexually as in subject like a woman. That's why the Most High says we are like a woman, but we committed adultery against him with the idolatry, with the nakashath, man. The idols, the brazen serpent, the red serpent idol. We've sexually lied with them. We've committed adultery against the Most High. That's why he cut us off for a while. That's why he turned his face from us. We read in Deuteronomy 32. He made us jealous with with our foes, with the humiliation people. That's what this shit is, man. Like, Can we not see? Can we not? Are we truly are the blind, deaf, dumb, and blind, man. This is fucking amazing. But let's continue. Let's get the next one. Next, we're jumping to Jeremiah. Let's get it. We need Jeremiah. Let's see, 8 and 17. It gets even worse, Israel. It gets even farther, Yashrallah. Look, 8 and 17. For behold, I am inciting against you venomous serpents that cannot be charmed, and they will sting you, the word of Yahweh. So this is the punishment that he sent upon us. But let's see what it is in the Hebrew. Kai, behold, Hananai, Mashalak, Bakat, Nakashiam, right? Nakashiam, Tsafa'anyam, Nakashiam, Tsafa'anyam. So he sent among us, behold, I will send among you Nakashiam, which is the you know what that is already. The Nakashiam, or the Nakash, the diviners, enchanters, the snakers, the serpents. He will send among us the enchanters, the Amalekites, and Tsafa'anyam, Ashar, and to be that, or that, or they, that nothing, Ayan, or which is what they call Satan in high level Kabbalah. They call him the Ein Sof, or Ayan, the Ayan Sawaf, the Ein Sof. So this is nothing, Laham Lakash wa Nashakal, and we'll stop right there. Wa Nashakal. So let's get that, Laham Lakash wa Nashakal. But let's get this first. Tsafa'anyam. Let's get Tsafa'anyam. It's 6848. Tsafai. It comes from Tsafa, Tsafa'anai, or Tsafa'anyam. To extrude, thrusting out of the tongue, a viper, a hissing, an adder, a cockatrice, right? 861. Let's get it in the BDB. So he would send among us the diviners, the enchanters, right? And also the Tsafa'anyam, which Tsafa, poisonous serpent, Tsafa'anyam, right? A venomous viper, Zafa. It also means excrement. Dung of cattle, excrement. So it's another word for shit. So he would send among us the enchanters and the venomous serpents of shit, of excrement, of filthiness, because excrement is filthy, That's another word for Galgal, Golgotha, Judah Naz brought this out, Golgotha. That's what one of the words, the root word for is Gal, or Galgal, and it means shit. It means a round. It means round, as a round mound of poop, So Jesus was crucified on the round mound of poop. That's what that is. That's the excrement. That's the Tsafa. The poisonous serpent, the excrement. That's what he is, the poisonous excrement serpent, the poisonous shit serpent. This is your boy Jesus, man. This is what he sent among us. That nothing, Laham Lakash wa Nashakal, right? Laham Lakash wa Shakanal. Nakashiam Tsafa'anyam, Laham Lakash wa Nashakal. And it means to swallow up, or greedily, to burn, rank, or wound, incantation or enchantment, lakash, that nothing will swallow up, or burn, or rank, or wound, or incantation, or enchant, and they will oppress on loan or debt or usury. That's what wa nashakal means. Look, they cannot be charmed, right? Cannot and will not be charmed. They cannot be burned or ranked or wounded or swallowed up greedily, because that's what they do. They wound, they burn, they break, they swallow up greedily. 3859, Lakash 3907, 3908. It says to whisper, mumble a spell, and they whisper. So this is what that nun could do that, but they will Lakash and Nashakal, because that's and Nashakal. So they will whisper and mumble a spell, a magician, a charmer, an incantation, an amulet, charmed, enchantment, prayer. 529 and 530. Let's get that. Hold on, sorry, Ezra. 529 and 530. Laham, to swallow greedily, bitterly. Oh, sorry, hold on. Did I get the wrong one? Yeah, I got the wrong. Wait. Oh, yeah, it's 538. Sorry. Got the wrong one. It's 538. That was for Laham. Here we go. Lakash. To whisper, a charm, to whisper. Possibly originally a serpent charming. So remember, that's that serpent charming. That's that whispering, the charming. It says, the voice of the whispers, a serpent charmer, whisper together. They always get in their little covens and they do their little whispering incantations. Whispering, charming, Lakash. Serpent charming. Charms, amulets worn by a woman, whispers of prayers. They pour forth a whisper of prayer. A compilation by magic. So it's magic. That's what they do. So they can't be touched or messed with or swallow greedily. They can't be wounded or rankled, but they will enchant, but they will lakash, they will enchant or oppress, and then they will and nashakal. Let's get that. And they will bite you or sting you. It's 5391 and 5392. It comes from the word nashak, because remember, it's them. They will. Washakana, remember you got prefixes and suffixes in the Hebrew, but it's all added together. So it's actually nashak, but it's washakana, and so they will enchant in prayer in the bad sense and enchant us, and nashakau, and they will nashak, they will strike, sting, oppress with interest on a loan, to bite, to lend upon usury, interest on debt, usury. So they will use us, man. They will loan us shit and use us. Like, this is fucking, dude. Man, if y'all don't understand this shit, and I don't know what the fuck, then y'all just aren't in the temple. 675. Look at if this is not our story right now, then I don't know, man. And this is written in the Torah, man. This is what happened to the forefathers. And this is, but look at how relevant it is. Past, present, future. Nashak, to bite. Undo threads, or to untwist rope, to disintegrate, to dissolve. So they're dissolving us, disintegrating us, unraveling our rope. To bite, to chiefly of a serpent. Similitude of wine, they also have us wind up. Figurative of prophets, they're false prophets who are biting with their teeth and crying peace. Figurative of oppression, so they cry peace. They're telling us, these false pastors, shepherds of camps, leaders, they're false prophets. They cry, they're biting with their teeth. They're figurative of oppression. We are oppressed. They oppress us. A play on a sense of debtors who give the interest, and they shall bite you fatally. So this is what this is. They've given us interest and bitten us fatally. They've destroyed us with their debts, their interest, their fractional reserve banking, federal banking system, central banking system that they set up to oppress us. And they bit the people fatally, both of the serpents, nakas, to interest or usury, by usury interest. To pay, to give interest on anything off which one giveth interest, to make one give interest. And See, that's how you know they're not the real Hebrews, man. That's how you know it's some fake ass fucking bullshit. Because these assholes, they lend on usury, and it's a law. It is a damn law in the Torah that says we are to not lend upon usury to our own people. We can't do that shit. So if they're Hebrews, then why the fuck are they always lending on usury to everybody? They're always lending on usury to their own people, their own shit. They are Edomites. Doesn't matter if they're specifically Amalekites or whatever, but they lend to usury on their own people too. They don't give a shit about their own people. See, that's what's all more fucked up. Like they oppress us, man. That's what he told us. He said that he would send the divining enchanters among us. And the ones, these snakes, these biters that cannot be broken down or torn down by us. Only the Most High can do it. And they will sting us, the lakash. They will a magician charm us, enchant us with amulets, with prayers, and nashakao. They will oppress us with interest and loans, and usury that cannot be charmed, and they will bite you. The word of the Most High. Na'am Yahweh. Hallelujah, man. Like, look at this, man. Look how deep this Torah goes. Okay, let's keep going. Next one is Isaiah 14 and 29. Let's get Isaiah 14 and 29. So it gets worse, man. It gets even worse. So you already know what 14 is. You already know who 14 is about. You know what 14 is about. It's about your boy, your Lucifer. I will liken myself to the Most High. This is your boy Lucifer, man. But that's not. Well, we're here for the latter end of this. This is a prophecy. It says, "Do not rejoice, O Philistia," or Philistines, or the Palestine, all of you, because the staff that beat you has been broken. For from the root of the snake. So don't be proud because we're gone. Because from the root of the snake will emerge a viper, and its progeny will be a fiery flying serpent. The foremost of the poor will be graze, and the destitute will lie down in security. And I will kill you with the most by famine, and he will slay your remnant. So this is the what's going to be brought upon Philistia. And what does it say? It's Nakash, Yatsa, Safa. So he will send the diviners, man. The root of the diviners. He will send the root of the diviners. Yatsa, Safa. Let's get Safa. Let's get Safa. Where is it at? Hold up. Bear with me for a second. Last one. Safa. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, that's the Zephaniah. That's the same thing. That's that venomous cockatrice serpent. So he will send the diviners, which is the venomous serpent, Wa Faryao, Sharaf Ma'awafaf. Sharaf Ma'awafaf. Which is, and the progeny, or the offspring will be Sharaf Ma'awafaf, right? Will be a fiery, red, consuming, hot, and then Ma'awafaf. See the fire flying serpent? It's 4588. Ma'awaf, or Ma'awafaf. A covering or shade of darkness, of dimness. It comes from 4155. which is covered, dark, obscurity, distress, and dimness. So this is what they would come and they cover with darkness and dimness, that Christ, that veil, that, it, it's, sorry, Ezra, I had to take care of my son. But that's what this is, man. They cover with that darkness, with that dimness. He would send them among Philistia. And this is what's happening now. But anyways, I just wanted to get that added little one in there. But let's get the next one. It's 30 and 6. Isaiah 30 and 6. I'm still recording. Let's see. See, they load animals to travel. See, watch it. Oh man. See, this whole. Let me get a couple more verses actually. Than what? Than the original. The main verse. Let's see if we can get it. So let's just get the whole chapter. It's chapter 30. It says, "Woe, O wayward sons!" So we are the wayward sons. They even have that song, "Carry on, our wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your head to rest. Don't you cry no more." Right? They make fun of it on South Park, that little song. But anyways, we are the wayward sons. It says, "The word of Yahweh, who take counsel, but not of me, who accept a ruler." So we don't take counsel of the Most High. "Who accept a ruler, but not of my spirit, in order to add sin upon sin, who are going to descend to where? To Egypt, but did not inquire of my mouth, to seek the strength in Pharaoh's stronghold, and to take shelter in Egypt's shade." That covering, that cast, remember? And Pharaoh's stronghold will be a shame for you, right? It says, and the shelter in Egypt's shade will be humiliation. So all you people that take this Pharaoh, shit, this pharaonic, which is just the pharaohs were nothing but the initiated main high priests of the mystery schools in Egypt, you'll be humiliated. "For its officers went into Zawan, and the messengers have reached Hanes. Everyone has borne shame by this people who cannot benefit them, not of assistance and not of benefit, but of the shame of even for disgrace. They load animals to travel to the south, through a land of affliction and adversity. They carry their mature lions and young lions among them, the viper and the flying serpent. They carry their wealth upon the shoulders of the young donkeys, and their riches upon the camel's hump, to a people who cannot provide benefit." So we take, all these things, but what's among us? We go to the people that cannot benefit us. This Hamitic bullshit, this Egyptian Mitzrayimic bullshit cannot benefit us. This is the viper or the flying serpent. It says, "Afa'ah, Washaraf," and the fiery, the serpent, it says Ma'awafaf. So it's that same thing. It's that Afai, Washaraf, Ma'awafaf. It says the hissing venomous serpents and burn poisonous covered the darkness or obscurity or distress and dimness and brandished us wearily. So that's what this is, man. We go down, and among us there's just nothing but hissing serpents that burn and poison us and cover us in darkness. That's all you're gonna get when you go into this thing, man. Afa'a washara ma'awafaf, man. That's, you're just gonna be hissed, enchanted, burned with the poison of the Christ and the idols, and covered in darkness, obscured and in dimness, man. Wearied all day. So let's get the next one. Let's see. We're done with that. See, just getting some precepts, man, just giving some little lessons, just showing you how the precepts line upon line works in the Hebrew. We're almost done, so hang in there with me. Micah 7:16 through 20. So let's go to Micah 7. 16 through 20 says, the nations will see and be ashamed of all their unavailing power, and I will place a hand over their mouth, and they will place their hand over their mouth, and their ears will become deaf. They will lick the dirt like the snake, and like the creatures that crawl on the ground. They will tremble from their places of confinement. They will fear Yahweh our power, and will be afraid of us, or you. Who is a God like you, who pardons iniquity and overlooks transgressions for the remnant of his heritage? So see, we don't have to look for no Jesus, fucking Savior, dead, risen God. No, we look to the Most High, who does not maintain his wrath forever. Remember, we read in Wisdom of Solomon, he does not maintain that wrath, for he desires kindness. He will once again show us mercy. He will suppress our iniquities. He will suppress all the sins that we've done, and you will cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. Grant truth to Jacob, or Yahweh, kindness to Abraham, as you swore to our forefathers in the days of old. So this is what we have to look forward to. But let's break that down. It says they will lick. So all these people, all these nations, they will lick the dirt like the snake and like the creatures that crawl. Let's get that in the Hebrew. Yal lakakau, afar, kanakash, kawakalai, right? Or kaza, sorry, kazakalai. It looks like the wa and the za, they should have shortened it. I kind of don't like the modern Hebrew text as much, man. I love my paleo, man. I wish I could find a Torah. If any of you brothers know where I can get an all Torah, paleo Hebrew Torah Tanakh, that would be awesome. But anyways, kazakalai. So it's Ifar, Kanakash, kazakalai, right? So they will lick. They will Ifar, Kanakash, kazakalai. It says they will be pulverized or cast dust, ashes or gray, or they will be rubble. The divine enchanters will crawl in fear as the serpent and worm. You know? Let's get that in the Hebrew. Ayafa, right? Or crawl. See, zakal. We already got that. The zakal or kazakalai. To crawl in fear or be afraid as a serpent or a worm. That's what they're going to do, man. They're going to crawl. They're going to be afraid. They will lick up the dust like the snake and the creatures that crawl. What it's saying is afar kanakash kazakalai, which is they will be pulverized and cast dust as gray ashes. They will be rubble. These divine enchanters, they will crawl and fear as the serpents of the worm, man. So this is what we have to look forward to. All these damn rebels, serpent fucking devils being stamped out. Let's see, what else do we need? Which is also prophecy of Genesis. If we go back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, what do we read? Sorry, just Exodus. Almost done Israel. Just hang in there, man. Just hang in there. We're almost done with this shit. 3:1. What does it say? Now the serpent was cunning beyond all the beasts. You know, the serpent was the one that messed with Eve. Every serpent. And Hanakash, Hanakash. That's and the serpent. Wanakash, or the diviner, the enchanter. Nakash, the enchanter. The Nakash, Shatan. Satan, man. Shatan, which is also Nakash, or the diviners, his people, the serpent people, which is Amalek. So this is the serpent, which is Shatan, which is the great tempter, and then his people, are the Amalekites, which I've got proof on, and I'm gonna bring out in the next part, the Illuminati part, Masonic writings part of this Torah Temple Tabernacle. It's not over after I get done with this Hebrew, man. It doesn't end there, boys. It doesn't. I mean, well, this video, yes, but that it doesn't end there. Okay, so let's get Genesis, like it says. Oh, because what does it say? It says because the serpent. What was the prophecy? It says. Hold on. Where's that? See, that's where he told me he was cursed, and he says, and there will be enmity. I put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will pound your head, and you will bite his heel. So, but what does he say? He's cursed beyond all cattle, and upon his belly he shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. Man, they will be consumed. They'll fall away. They'll eat the dust in shame. Man, that's that prophecy coming true finally. All these serpent children, all these sons of Belial. Because when it all comes down to it, this is what happened. Because remember, what happened? This brazen image, just like in Jonah, it got broken. So let's get that real quick before we finish this out. Like I mentioned, okay. So we start off. It was in the 3rd year of Hawashai, the son of Allah, king of Yashraal. Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Yehoiada, became king, and he was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 29 years in Jerusalem, or Jerusalem. His mother name was Abba, daughter of Zechariah. He did that which was proper in the eyes of Yahweh, just as his forefather Dawud had done. And he removed the high places and shattered the pillars and cut down the Asherah trees. He also ground up the copper serpent that Masha had made, for until those days the children of Yashraal used to burn incense before it and called it Nehushtan. So let's get that in the Hebrew. It says, Wa karath at ha Asherah, so he destroyed the Asherahs. Wa katath, or he cut down, or he shredded down, or he destroyed, pulverized, Nakash ha Nakashath, right? Or the brazen idol serpent. Let's get that, hold on. Let's get that, because that one just, you can never get enough of that one. Give me a second, Israel. Sorry, bear with me. 638. Okay, we're real close. So here we go. 638. Nakashath, right? The bronze god, the serpent god, right? So they called it Nakash, the divining serpent bronze god, the red divining serpent god. So that's what they called it, right? And what did he do? Ashar al-Shah. Okay, what do we go down here? What did they call it? Nakashatan, right? Where is it at? Oh, that was the Nakashatan. They called it the bronze god. Oh, sorry. So it was actually called the lust or harlotry. He broke down. Okay, so it's Nakash ha Nakashat. So they called it the divining serpent, the Nakashat, or the lust or idolatry or the harlotry. Yeah. Nakash ha Nakashat, the divining enchanter, the idolatry or lust, and we called it Nakashatan, which is the bronze god or the red god, because remember Nakash, it means red. It's the red god. It's actually the red god. Okay, so but anyways, he broke it down, and it also means remember, Nakashatan also means base, the copper, the base, fetter, chain, filthiness, all that good stuff. Go back. All these words are all the same. If you want the whole lesson written down and stuff, I've got. It's kind of rough draft, but I could send it to you. It has everything broken down. Just let me know. It's really extensive. I just tried to go through as fast as I can. Now, to wrap it all up, I just wanted to hit that Jonah, because Judah Naz did such a magnificent job breaking that down. Tawada to that brother, man, and I'll shout out for tearing it up. I just wanted to point one thing out. The Koya Koya one, right? It's the same thing. I just wanted to point out a few of the words. The Koya Koya one actually means nauseous or vomit or spew. So that's what it was. He set up this nauseous vomit spew. See, it's the same thing as, remember, the shit, the poop, nauseous vomit spew, Golgotha, all that. And then another word, because he says that the maggot, that he sent a worm to devour the tree, right? The word is tawala'ath. In fact, let me get it. Here we go. Tawala'ath. And tawala'ath means a crimson maggot, ferocious, to blurt inconsiderately or to devour. And I'll get that. It's H8438 for tawala'ath, means maggot, crimson grub, or red or scarlet. So see, it's that red grub. And it comes from the word yalai, which means to blurt or utter inconsiderately or to devour. So these, that's what that is. He's bringing these red maggots, these uttering magician dead people, to destroy that Christ. The crimson scarlet bug, because, Shania is another word. 81, 44, 32, 16. You could go check these out in the BDB 1040, 410. It all means the same thing. But basically, that's what it was. The worm that is being sent, that the Most High is sending to devour the Koya Koya one, or the vomit, is not only the Kemets, but the Kemets are, you got to remember, are controlled. The Kams, the hot springs that have us walled up, are controlled by the Masons, who are controlled by the Edomites, who are controlled by the Amalekites. So it all goes back to those Amalekite red worm devils who are going to end up destroyed. Because that's what Albert Pike wanted. Remember the 3 world wars. They want to eventually destroy all the religions, destroy everything, destroy the Jesus that they set up, or what the Most High had them set up. And they will eventually destroy all that and set themselves up as the God. And that's what all this whole temple, Torah, tabernacle, brazen serpent, all this leads down to, is the fact that, and I've got one, actually, I forgot about this. The New Testament actually mentions your boy Jesus as being the brazen serpent. We got this filthy, nasty Greek poems book. In the book of John, chapter 3. Just get this in. We're almost done. This is it after that.